Well, there we go. The red light. Hello, everybody. I am Captain Jim Palmer, the Dream Business Coach. I'm the founder of the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program. I'm the author of these 6 amazing books here that can help you grow your dream business, creator of No Hassle newsletters, my extraordinary Done For You newsletter program that has served over 1,200 small business owners in 9 countries. But most importantly, today, I'm the host of Dream Business Radio, coming to you from our temporary land home right here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Dream Business Radio, now in its 10th year. I'd like to welcome a very special guest, Mr. Rob Anspach. Anspach. What is it, Rob? How you doing?
Yeah, that's a mouthful that you just spit out there, and
I know, and I do it every week, and you'd think I could just say it smoothly, but no, I don't know.
that's why I condensed mine for my podcast. It's like I'm Rob Anspach. This is eHeroes, and then we just go because I can't remember all that stuff.
Off to the races. Anyway, hey folks, this episode of Dream Business Radio is brought to you by the Dream Business Mastermind and Coaching Program. Big surprise there. If you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, if you're tired of slow to no growth in your business, if you're feeling overwhelmed and unfocused, and especially if you're interested in learning how to create multiple streams of revenue in your business, and trying to figure out literally how to create a dream business that will allow you to live your dream lifestyle, something I've been able to do, thank you, then you want to check out the Dream Business Mastermind, which is led by me, Captain Jim, at dreambizcoaching.com, dreambizcoaching.com. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Anspach, and we'll dive right in. Rob is an experienced social media strategist. I know he's not 13 like most of the really smart guys on digital marketing, but he's also an SEO expert. He's an author of like countless books. We'll find out how many. Corporate ghostwriter and a speaker. He's the author of Share, 27 Ways to Boost Your Social Media Experience, Build Trust and Attract Followers. Also, another pretty cool book, Lessons from the Dojo. And as I said, Rob has authored and co-authored several other books, including his latest brand. I don't know how many brands he has, but it's Rob Versus brand, which we're gonna ask him about that. But he has helped many professionals publish their own books, which in turn has boosted their authority in their respected niches. And Rob, once again, welcome to Dream Business Radio, sir.
Oh, it's good to be here. I've been longing for this for weeks.
I mean, I wake up every day. Is it time to talk to Rob yet? I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And I really want to applaud you. Rob shared with me, really suffering from a migraine. He cleared his whole calendar all week except Dream Business Radio, because you would not want to miss this opportunity. Anyway, Rob, I love sharing backstories as much as strategies. You got quite a backstory yourself. I think, honestly, we first got connected at Mike Capuzzi's local chapter of Glazer Kennedy. Yeah. But once you fill everybody in about how you got into marketing and what kind of fun you were having before that.
Oh, I don't know if it was fun. When I discovered marketing, it was 1998, and I had been a carpet cleaner for about 3 years. I had owned a carpet cleaning business, and I was struggling, and was probably about 6 seconds away from bankruptcy. And I saw an ad in a cleaning magazine. Hey, come out to Arizona, learn with other carpet cleaners, this great marketing thing. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a scam. But I did. I got to meet Dan Kennedy. I got to meet a lot of brilliant marketers who, one, I'd never even gone to Arizona before. I'd never been to a marketing convention. But here were hundreds of people trying to learn the ropes just like me. And, I started studying marketing as soon as I got back from this event. And I took to it like a sponge.
That was a Joe Polish event, probably, right?
It was a Joe Polish event, yeah. And I mean, in fact, Joe has just gone leaps and bounds, and I'm amazed at his journey as well.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. So if in 90, that was probably, still when he's doing the carpet cleaning live events, because later I guess he transitioned to the I Love Marketing events, right?
Right. Yeah. The most, I think the first 10 years for him was helping carpet cleaners, and so I had gone to this event in 1998, and then I went back in 2000, and by 2000 I was helping other cleaners with their marketing, and Joe had interviewed me on his I guess Genius of the Month or Tape of the Month, or whatever you called it back then. I mean, that's when
Mm-hmm.
we had cassettes
Yeah.
and so I was starting to get this bug. I had to start coaching people on marketing, and it was great. But so I was running. I had started the coaching business right after that. So in 2001, I was starting to coach people, and I still had the cleaning business, and so I was running both companies for many years.
Yeah.
But I think it was 2014 is when I went actually full time into the coaching.
There's your buddy Adam Homey chiming in.
I see Adam. Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Cat Daddy.
Uh,
So go ahead.
no, Adam was saying he wants an extended warranty on his car, and that kind of leads up to the new books that I'm writing. The whole Rob Versus series is all about scams.
All right. Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So, my audience is made up of entrepreneurs, small business owners, pretty much the same audience you serve. You do and have done several different things from SEO to, ghostwriting, blogging, trust creation. In fact, I think when our paths first crossed at Mike Capuzzi's event, that's what you were known as the trust creator, if my memory is any shape at
Yeah,
all.
I was trying to be known for something.
Mm-hmm.
And social media was in its infancy, and people were starting to, it was the know, like, and trust thing.
Right.
Well, in order to get people to know and like you, they have to trust you. And so I wanted to be this guy that people could trust it. And now it's more of I transition more now the authority marketer, because it's getting to the point where I think we as entrepreneurs, we want more people to come to us based on the authority that we're creating, which then leads to trust. But back then it was, I had to start somewhere.
So in 2009, I think you said you started teaching social media to your friends and other entrepreneurs. So is that when things just went skyrocket? I mean, fame, fortune, and everything, or
No,
was there a little bit more of a journey than that?
That was still a journey, and the journey didn't really take off until the first book came out, which was Share.
Mm-hmm.
And Share came out in 2013, so we're going on 10 years now. And it's funny because Mike's GKIC had transitioned into Business Entrepreneurs Network by that time, and so I'm still have this carpet cleaning business while doing the coaching. So I walk into the Ben meeting with my new book, Share, and everybody's like, a carpet cleaner wrote a book on social media? What's the deal?
Yeah, what's up with that? Is that when Charlie McDermott took it over, I guess,
that's
right?
That's when Charlie took it over. But the funny thing is that simple book sold like 2,000 copies right away, and people were like, "How'd you do it, Rob? How did you tell us your secret?"
Wow.
And so it was that was the transition from, and then that was kind of what convinced me to sell the cleaning business, get out of that, go into consulting full time, and in the last 10 years we've produced 36 books. So it's
well, before you sold the business, did you clean your own carpets at your house one more time before you got rid of the equipment, or?
I did, and my wife wanted me to keep some of the equipment. I'm like, no, I want to get out.
Yeah, we got kids and grandkids and dogs and cats. Keep some of the equipment. Anyway, I'm just in jest.
And
so Rob, then we went from, because the next thing I think I saw you went from the social media to SEO, which to me fit. I mean, it's all online marketing.
Right. And I started out doing SEO for myself and for others, but it was the social media that really kind of got us out there, got the name out there. And so I was teaching people how to, create content that actually gets people to say yes or at least ask questions.
So what was your strategy? What did you teach, in Share and working with your clients about social media? I mean, 2009, obviously there was Facebook and Twitter.
Well,
and, I don't know what else, but today there's like 25.
Right. Back then it was just Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Those were the main three. And my frustration back then with Facebook, I had gotten shut down a few times. I had, even back in 2009. Now I haven't gotten shut down for about 2 years now. But the last time was a 24-hour ban that really upset me because I had all my client stuff already scheduled and none
Oh
of
my
it went out.
goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, in 2009, I was between 2009 and the book when it came out in 2013. So that's 4 years of kind of learning the ropes of social media, learning what to post, how to post, knowing that, politics and religion really screwed people's mindsets up and triggered them. But those were the ones that got the most responses, So it was like, okay, do you want to mention politics? Do you want to mention religion? And, so I did add those chapters in the book because to some people, that is their livelihood. That's what they learn. That's what they know. That's what they want to talk about. And, but there are a lot of subjects right now that trigger people. In fact, now we're in 2023 and people seem to be triggered by everything. But
Yeah.
back then, not so many people were getting triggered. And
So do you like the fact? I mean, I know we'll get to your whole. I almost called him Wise Guy series, but no, you're not the wise guy. But the whole Rob versus thing, right? So you go for a lot of that, needling a little bit and creating the conversation. Is that part of the social media strategy?
No, not. I mean, it came about from that. Not initially because when I was teaching the social media, it was mainly to get business. However, people were coming to social media to strike up a conversation. They weren't going to people's websites to strike up conversations. They would go to the website to learn a little bit about you. Then they would go to social media, to see if they could get this conversation going. And that's kind of what social media is all about. But we as marketers, we want to just pommel our message every single day and get people to say, buy. But that doesn't work on social because it's more like the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Where 20% of your message should be marketing and 80% should just be conversation. But I messed that up going, in the first couple of years, and a lot of people started leaving. They didn't want to be my friend, and I'm like, what's going on? And it was because I was constantly pitching my services instead of trying to figure out the psychology of why people were coming to me.
So I'm curious if I mean, social media is such a multifaceted thing. There's no simple one answer. Like I promise never to be the guy and say, hey, what's the one thing you would do? So I'm not going to ask you that question, right? But damn, I'm being a wise guy and I forgot the question. No. So in the early days, and I'm curious if it's changed, Rob, with social media, some people just post to share information. Some people post to drive people to a website, and some people post and say, hey, send me a DM, all these different things. What's the one thing that you suggest with social media? What really works well for you and your clients?
All of it.
Okay.
The problem here's the problem with most marketers have gone to the ClickFunnels and the other types of web-based more generators, landing pages. And over the years, Facebook especially has learned that these are more entrapment URLs than they are conversational URLs. So they've downgraded those. So a lot of people say, well, link in comments. Well, that doesn't work because if someone goes to share that post, the link in comments doesn't go with it.
Right.
So, always try to put the legitimate URL in your actual post. Yes, it may not get the traffic that, see link in comments does, but it makes it a lot easier for people to find the post if it gets shared. And that's really what you want. You want to make it easy for somebody to find you.
Right. You know, one of the things I work with my clients and teach them, it's not about, to me, it's not about the number of likes and it's about the impact you get. And I
Right.
firmly believe, and I've been doing this for a long time, I firmly believe the impact you actually make is almost never known to you,
Right.
other than with people who may want to come work with you and then they share it and you're like, oh man, I love that stuff. You didn't comment, you didn't like. Not that I ever say it out loud, but I think with if you do social media correctly, you make a huge impact. You get known for a certain thing, which is what smart marketers do: stay in their lane, stay in their niche. But it's not so much. I don't. It's in other words, it doesn't bother me that I don't have 242 likes for this brilliant piece of business, knowledge that I share,
Right.
because I know it goes out there.
Right.
And certain things do tend to get more. Do you know what I mean? Do you
Well,
do you subscribe to that? Excuse me.
I
I'm sorry. Do you subscribe to that? And correct me if I'm wrong, or you have a different opinion, or do you like to do things which cause a lot of likes? Because I guess that's called engagement. Where do you come down on that?
likes, you can't take likes to the bank. And
That's true.
the majority of my clients who have reached out to me have never liked my stuff.
Hmm.
You know, they stalk social media. They will look at posts constantly, but they'll never click like, they'll never click share, they'll never comment. But they'll call me up and say, Rob, I love your stuff. You're everywhere. You're making a great impact. Oh, how come you never liked it? Because I don't do that stuff. Okay, no problem. And they hire me to help them be the same way. They want to be everywhere. They want to be on social. They on on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram, and we can create all this content for them, and then schedule it out so that every day they've got something going on. But if your customer goes to LinkedIn to find you, they at least find some content. They go to Facebook, they can find content. It's just, you got to be everywhere.
How has LinkedIn changed over the years? I mean, it used to be, oh, that's the professional. If you're an engineer, go find somebody to connect with there. But it really has morphed a little bit more like the Facebook news feed.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting live onto my LinkedIn page, I presume, because I'm always here, not there. But LinkedIn really has kind of broadened how they do social, correct?
Yeah, they have, and years ago, Microsoft invested in LinkedIn, so they have I think, a say in what happens. But what I've been discovering is that the things that people used to post on Facebook are now being posted on LinkedIn. Political, religious, whatnot. And then you always have this guy in the corner going, "This isn't Facebook. Take it off LinkedIn and put it." What are you, the hall monitor?
You got your little arm badge.
So it's. I think the problem is not the problem, but the irony is that all those people who used to post on Facebook, who used to get disgruntled because Facebook would restrict stuff, are now posting somewhere else. And LinkedIn is more geared to the business owners, the entrepreneurs, the CEOs, but we're just like everyone else. We have opinions. We want to express them, and
right.
And we want to share them out with fellow, mindset thinkers. But we don't want to go to Facebook. So
what are your thoughts on I mean, there's Instagram, there's TikTok. I mean, I have a client who does really high end sales coaching on TikTok, or he says he's not doing TikTok for that reason, but I don't know. And I don't want to sound like an old curmudgeon, even though I got white on my face. But is TikTok, is that like the new thing you have to be on as an entrepreneur, or is it just just about views and stuff?
A year ago, I would have said avoid TikTok at all costs.
Okay.
I don't want to get on it. For me, I'm the same way. I was a curmudgeon, and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this. I'm not pointing. I'm not dancing. I'm not doing any of that garbage.
Yeah.
And then a client of mine got on it in October, started posting videos, sharing her stories. And in less than 90 days, she has 60,000 followers. and gets 12 to 20 consultations a week.
Is that right? Can you say what she does? Like what niche is she in?
She's a military lawyer, so she
Wow.
defends our soldiers against allegations. And so yeah, she's rocking and rolling.
And what are the TikTok video? I'm sure she's not out juggling flaming bowling pins. So what are her TikTok videos about?
She shares stories of of courts, of what she's done, how she's how she does everything. She shares frequently asked questions. She comments on other people's stuff, but it's all geared to defending soldiers, through court martial, through allegations, through all kind. And you would think that that's not something a lawyer would do.
Right.
The problem is that I think as marketers we have we think, okay, Facebook is for regular people, LinkedIn is for business, Instagram is for pictures, TikTok is for pointing and dancing.
Right.
The thing is that I've seen grants at mall on their phone scrolling through TikTok. So,
well,
and a lot of younger soldiers are on TikTok. But here's the thing: is that no matter what platform you want to be on, learn to dominate it.
Yeah, that's true. I'll agree there. And from my own perspective, and again, I try not to sound like a curmudgeon, but I'm going to say something very curmudgeonly. I adapt. I mean, I have shifted and adapt. That's what entrepreneurs do. But I hope I can retire before I have to shoot any TikTok videos because it's just not in my wheelhouse. But I say that today.
Well, here's the thing: is I started making TikTok videos, not pointing or dancing. It's just I'm giving my thought on being an entrepreneur, sharing stories, and then TikTok has a thing where you can immediately share it to Instagram. So my videos are now going to Instagram, and so then I take the video and I re-upload it to YouTube. Well, now I have 30 or 40 videos scheduled on YouTube going out another month. So every day another YouTube video shows up in my feed. Well, my YouTube channel is growing, and my TikTok followers are growing, and people are commenting on videos on Instagram just from shooting once and sharing it all over the place.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, this curmudgeon kind of adapted too, even though I didn't want to.
Yeah. So you're well known today, Rob, for a series of book called Rob Versus. And I don't know how many titles you have now, but give 2 or 3. And what is the genesis? How did the first one get going? Was it by happenstance? And then you said, well, that worked well. Then you kept going. What's that journey?
I think at that point I had written or produced a dozen or so books, probably more. 2019, I started sharing out stories just of my sarcastic dealings with the Visa, MasterCard scammers that would call on all the time. And people, I would share them out to Facebook and LinkedIn, and people would say, well, Rob, you've written all these other books. Why don't you combine some of these and make a book of these stories? And
so Rob Versus the Scammers, that was the first one?
Rob Versus the Scammers was the first one. And so that came out in 2019. And people just loved it. I mean, I've people in the UK, people in Australia, people so I thought, I was just gonna write one book, but I had all this material left over, and I'm like, okay, well, people seem to like it. Let's start another one. So I did Rob Versus the Morons, and boy, that triggered so many people because they thought they were morons. I was talking about them, and but they're like, Rob, are you sure you can say morons on a book cover?
Like, have you seen the books in bookstores today? It's like, oh my God, don't take your grandchildren in there.
No, it's like, so, and then that one did really well. So I thought, okay, let's do a third one. But the third one, we're in the midst of COVID. And so I said, okay, the title's going to be Rob Versus Humanity. This is going to be the last one. I'm not going to do any more. And people just love that one too. And so now there's, I just released book 6 a few months ago. So after Humanity, there was Rob versus the Entitled, and then Rob versus the Wackadoos, Rob versus the Unicorns, and I'm producing book 7 and 8 right now.
Rob versus the Karens, or is that coming up?
And I don't have the titles yet. I usually get all the books, all the stories compiled, put them in a book, and then I figure out the title afterwards. And
we got about 5 minutes left, Rob. I want to ask you because I'm very, very finely attuned. The little voice in my head is telling me what the audience wants to know, and they're saying, "Well, ask him this about his Rob versus book," because it's a question I wanted to ask you myself. So I see you do these Rob books, and I see you on social media, and I see your, so I answered the phone and said hi, and you go your whole monologue, you put it out there, and it's fairly funny. I'll give you that. I'm like, you should do stand up, but I'm like, what does that book do for your coaching, your SEO, trust creation business, that whole thing? How does that work?
It's called, well, I've kind of termed it rejection marketing, because if you like sarcasm, and you read the books and you laugh, at the very end of the book, there's just a call to action that says, hey, here's who I am, what I do. If you like it, great, hire me. And those who read the books, who love them, tend to be more inclined to want to hire me. So they already got that trust built in there. They've already, hey, this guy's really funny. But people that don't like sarcasm, that don't get my humor, will never hire me. And the books came, when I started the books, they were more geared to educating people. The first bunch of books, the great books, they're all for education, but they're not funny. And I think in this world, we need more laughter.
Oh, definitely. I'm with you there. Hence the way I usually act.
But... And by combining my sarcasm and my personality and everything that makes me who I am, people say, hey, you know what? You're real, you're raw, you're exactly what I want, or you're exactly what society should have right now, because everybody's on pins and needles and gets triggered by everything. So why not speak the truth?
Yeah. So, I want to so for the listeners and viewers right now, one of the things you've always heard me say is that great marketing does two things. It attracts the right people and it repels the others. So Rob answered a question that I've been thinking about. What's with these books? I mean, we know you're not going to buy a new Lamborghini based on book sale money, right? So what's the deal? Well, it's actually doing the negative side. It's pushing away the people because, time is short. You don't want to be spending a lot of time, then figure out 6 months down the road, this guy just is not fun to work with. So I finally get it. That's pretty cool. We got about 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask you a gigantic question. I want to just ask you about blog posts, because I know, it's a large part of what your business does. You ghostwrite. Well, you ghostwrite books. I assume you still do. Are you still doing like blog and trust creation?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I've always heard that it seemed to me, depending on who you ask, you want to post a blog minimum once a week. Then it was like 2 or 3 times a week. Well, then I heard you go off of that and do one blog post, but it's got to be like 300 to 500 words. What's the size? What's the frequency? Or is there no one answer?
It used to be, and the gurus would say 1,500 words. And I'm thinking, my God,
who can read that?
Right. And here's the thing is that the reason they say that is because Google wants to go through and scan all your keywords and do this and do that. And so you were designing these blog posts for Google. Well, in reality, keep it short, keep it sweet, because you're designing posts for readability, for average people, to actually want to read it. When they come to your blog post and it's only 300 words, they think, okay, great, I can have this done in about 5 minutes and I can go about my day. If they got to read something 1,500 words, they're going to get distracted. They're going to get lost. Nobody wants that. So, keep it for the reader. Design posts that are reader friendly. So keep them 300 to 500 words.
And that really follows the format of authoring books. It used to be, you got to be 200 pages, 200 plus. I mean, the books that I'm helping my clients write these days are anywhere 50 to 80 pages. I mean, my last book, Just Say Yes, was like 100.
Yeah.
It's like if you can read it in one or maybe two sittings, there's a very good chance it will get read. But if you give them this gigantic War and Peace novel, they're not going to get through the first 1/3. So
Right. I mean, I keep my books between 100 and 150 pages because I want them to read it in one sitting. You know, an
yeah.
hour or two done, they can go about their day. Keep it simple.
Well, I knew this would be a fun interview. I mean, we're kind of in the same ballpark for what we do, and although I never owned a car, well, I do own a carpet cleaner, but it's one of the little plastic ones.
Good. You can come over to my house. I got 30 carpet.
Yeah, let me know if your cat has a mishap. Anyway, I'm sure people want to connect with you. What website would you like to give, Robert? Phone
Well,
number?
you can go to onspachmedia.com if you know how to spell it, or you can always get my books. Go to getrobsbooks.com. Makes it easy. Yeah, or find me on Facebook.
Is that right? Getrobsbooks.com. And that is how they get them, how they purchase them from you, or does that redirect to Amazon?
That goes to Amazon. It's a lot easier sometimes to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want an autographed copy, if you're into that thing, and, seeing my autograph, great. You can come to Onspach Media, buy it directly from me. Although sometimes shipping takes forever because the USPS is just slow. Go to Amazon. They have it to you 2 days later.
See, that's a good tip right there. So Adam Homey, if you're still on, can you check out getjimsbooks.com? Because if I send people to Amazon, they put in Jim Palmer, the baseball player comes up. So I've got to give them this ginormous, 300-mile link. Anyway, Rob, thanks so much. It was a lot of fun.
Great to be here.
Hey, folks, that wraps up this very special interview with my guest, Rob Anspach. I highly recommend you connect with him, follow him, learn from him, Anspach Media or getrobsbooks.com. You can connect with me at getjimpalmer.com. Or if you're interested in joining me and about 27 other very smart, growth-oriented entrepreneurs in the Dream Business Mastermind, you can go to dreambizcoaching.com, dreambizcoaching.com. As part of my legacy building program, I've made all 6 of my books for free in digital format. So they're Kindle books on Amazon, Nook books on Barnes & Noble, and they are in the iBook store. 0 cost, no opt-in, no nothing. My way to help educate more entrepreneurs and still only work 3 days a week. That's my deal right now. We'll see if it holds up. But until this time next week, another fantastic interview. I am Captain Jim Palmer, the Dream Business Coach. You take good care.